Nerd. Nah, I just beat a mill deck because, escape is really good for that.
I really goddamn hate playing against Mills.
I'm not gonna lie. As much as I enjoy the idea, oh, Mill's back. It's annoying.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm actually surprised it's kind of meta because there's so many escape cards that are actually just good.
Yeah. I apparently don't have any of them in my deck.
Like that there's a spider. It's a 1/2.
Mm-hmm.
When you escape and when it enters the battlefield, deals damage equal to its power to target because you're flying. It's the anti-rogue card.
Right.
Like forever, and I love it. Like that's a nice rankle. It's dead. I've been playing with Scourge of the Skyclaves, and it's been pretty good. I got it to be a 15/15, and then I put an Emmerich Cleave on it, and I'm like, good luck.
So you can always tell when Brennan's on our Discord voice channel because you hear...
Because I got some insider info, some spicy
Oh, you got that sauce?
Oh, I got the sauce.
You got the sauce?
Like how I knew what cards were going to be good.
You got that marinara for us?
I'll tell you this much. I know that in the next set, we're gonna get an artifact that's based off Mjolnir.
Oh no shit.
150%. Berserkers will come back because that's obviously a basic theme for Vikings.
Right.
Probably I don't think we'll see gods, but if we do, I'm not gonna be surprised, just because in Norse mythology there are gods, so there's that.
Right.
Like there could be a Loki, a Thor, an Odin, a Hera, something like that. Gonna be a lot of combat tricks type stuff, because Vikings like to fight, right?
Sure.
So that they're gonna be doing. Probably a cycle of cards based on Nordic runes. That would probably be a good safe bet. Because they always go with the most basic theme. Like for instance, Theros was very easy. There are gods, and in the next one, there are gods, but there's also Titans. It's not a hard concept. And then all of Eldraine was just a bunch of Brothers Grimm fairy tales.
Right.
So you could. That one was probably the easiest one to figure out. It's well, there's going to be a Hansel and Gretel card, something that's going to depict that. Going to be cards like a pumpkin carriage. Going to be a princess. There's going to be a king. There's going to be a dragon, definitely. And then the classic princess, or no, what is it? Princess and the Beast or something?
Beauty and the Beast.
Beauty and the Beast. And then that card became absolutely nuts.
Right.
And then Beanstalk Giant, blah blah blah.
I mean, I do like themes that kind of relate to not necessarily magic lore, but lore that people might be a little bit more familiar with.
Oh yeah.
You know,
they base a lot of their sets on something IRL, but Zendikar, the idea was just adventures.
Yeah.
Or quests or something. And it's that's not really tied to anything. That's just an idea.
Yeah. I did turn around. I did turn around on the Secret Lair Walking Dead. Originally, I was for it, but then the more I thought about it, the less I liked it.
Yeah.
As black border cards.
Oh, it's kind of on that side. What they should have done, I don't know why. Well, first off, an easy answer would just be not have said that these are legal in eternal formats.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if you make them silver borders, or if you do it they did with the Godzilla cards and just make them skins in Arena, I think there would have been way less kickback.
They can't make them silver bordered cards because they've already been printed.
Well, yeah.
So they were just going to be like, whatever, just keep blackboard. But it was just a set of words like, hey, these are going to be legal in eternal formats. If you say, after review, no, we're not going to make these eternal format legal, and the problem would have been solved.
And I mean, they still have a chance to do that. I just don't think that they've seen. I mean, they you know, I'm sure they've all seen the professor's video. I'm sure they've all seen Rudy's video just slagging it. But I mean, they don't have any gameplay in the wild because nobody, you know, except for a couple of play groups here and there. There's just no. There are no events happening where they can see the effect that it's happening.
See, I ordered them because I want to brew some legacy decks. And the only format that everyone is really complaining about is Commander.
Yeah.
Because the cards themselves in Legacy and Vintage, whoever plays Vintage nowadays, aren't very good. They're not that good. It's Commander because they're all legends. They're all like, everyone's like, oh, now they're gonna pilot their deck with this and make some. And it's not that they're overpowered. It's just that the availability.
Yeah.
And
that's the biggest thing.
A big theme of Commander players is that they always want people to play Commander however they want.
Right. I mean, the easy fix without WotC getting involved is, you know, since Commander is more of a casual format, just have a house rule. Hey, we're not playing Secret Lair cards around here. It's
that's
just not fun.
Is that's also just an easy solution. The community who is in charge of the bans and restrictions of Commander said they're going to be legal. But your play group can say whatever the hell they want. They can be like, we're not going to play with those cards, like, and that's fine.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, even if we did something like we started using the spell table, we started doing some Commander on server.
Yeah.
No Secret Lair cards. You know, Walking Dead is banned. You know,
to be honest, I'm okay with the cards. I'm just not okay with the way that they created them and produced them and stuff. Because had those cards been in a like Commander Legends, fine.
Yeah.
Because you know that's everybody has access to that. The fact they gave it limited access and only the people who really wanted to buy them could. It was a blatant cash grab.
Yeah.
To try and exploit people for the Secret Lairs. I don't like the model they're doing. Ravnica from this year, like War of the Spark, you didn't see Secret Lairs. You didn't see these promo cards and these special, what are they called? Set boosters? Or not set boosters. But anyways.
Yeah.
It was just normal products.
Yeah.
And that's fine. I want to say one more thing.
Yeah.
There were expeditions, inventions, and invocations in Zendikar, Amonkhet, and Kaladesh. Why didn't you just do that? And just keep doing that?
Yeah.
Because that sells packs. People want to chase for those cards because they're all great looking. They're all good in formats. Like,
here's what I think is going on. I grew up collecting baseball cards, and baseball cards used to be a lot like Magic was before Secret Lairs, where it was like, here's the set. We didn't print as many of the All-Star cards as we did the regular cards, but there's no like limited edition really. It was just, here is a set, open up packs, collect the set, trade with your friends. That's what baseball cards were in the 80s when I was collecting, and that's what Magic was right up until basically this Secret Lair. And baseball cards moved in the 2000s to nobody gives a shit about the base set. Everybody wants to hit these, like, you know, one of X,
right? Really
crazy limited edition, you know, one of one with a swatch of Fernando Tatis's jock strap in it, like the you know, and it's because baseball cards aren't a game; they're strictly driven by collector market. And they can charge a premium for packs of cards where, you know, they're acetate, so they're see-through. They've got pieces of game used materials. They're signed by whoever, and they can do all that shit because they don't have to worry about a card being tournament legal. And I think what WotC is trying to do is they're trying to push into that chaser market where, and I don't even know if the gold signed art cards are stamps or if they're actual or they're actually signed by the artists.
Are you talking about the cards in the descendant card set boosters?
Yeah, I think they were in the boosters where you just get a random full art card with no text. It's just an art card that's signed by.
It's strictly a collectible.
Yeah, and I think it's fine if they separate the collectible stuff out of the gameplay stuff. If you have Magic the Gathering collecting cards outside of Magic the Gathering collectible trading cards, cards, then fine. Let all the Rudies out there buy just those chase card packs and boxes and stuff like that. But if I'm opening up a pack of cards, I want cards that I can play. And I want to be able to play against people who have opened up the same kind of product that I have. I don't want to be playing against somebody that spent $300 on a pack of cards that has, a 1 of 1,000 to fairy that can give them a fucking, 3-drop take 4 turns in a row. Like, I don't want to do that. I want to play against people who are playing the same product that I am. And if the backlash that WotC's gotten from the Walking Dead doesn't get them on board, then I think, I saw a video where it sounds like they're going to do like a Teletubbies or a Barney the Dinosaur April Fool's Day Secret Lair release that's like,
okay,
you know what I mean? Like they're going to take a Hasbro brand that is geared towards really young kids and turn it into their April
Transformers artworks.
Yeah, well, they're gonna have to lick their wound from Transformer TCG dying before we see that.
True. Yeah, it doesn't look very good when you use the artwork for Transformers, and Transformers already has a card game that's not doing well.
Right. Well, no, it's already been DC'd. They're not publishing it anymore.
So I just looked it up. So initially, Secret Lair, The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
It's $50.
Mm-hmm.
The resale, and this is by TCG Player, is about an average of $130.
Yeah.
It's more than double.
Yeah. Yeah, because
that's a whole nother conversation about secondary market, but like that's the thing. It's because it's availability.
Right. And the second market is fine. The second market is really what keeps a lot of game shops open and a lot of people involved. I'm fine with that, but the problem is like who wants to pay $130 for a $50 box when you might not get anything that you can actually like? It just the mechanics behind it doesn't work for me. And if they did the Secret Lair as like silver border stuff that you're not going to run up against in really any situation out in the wild, like if they're making sets that are kind of outside of canon, great. My problem is like I don't want to sit across from somebody who's put $3,000 into a deck, and I'm playing against something I bought off the wall. That's not fun for anybody.
To counter that, I would say it's in Commander exclusively, really, that people are doing that. That is normally attuned to them decking out, like making the deck as vibrant as possible. Like,
yeah,
I could get this normal Solemn Simulacrum, but why would I do that when I can buy this $50 version that has a different artwork?
Yeah, which is what they should be doing. They shouldn't be making
now
like the base cards.
Now, I won't deny that there are people who will tune their decks to be overpowered, and that's CDH. And to me, you shouldn't be playing a CDH game with normal Commander players.
Right.
Because CDH to me is not fun. When my opponent combos off on turn 4 and kills everybody, and I'm like, I didn't even get to cast my commander. I hate that.
Yeah.
I want to have fun, and
yeah,
there's very little politics in CDH Commander, and that's the thing about Commander is that it's all politics.
And that's what really I think is getting in everybody's crawl about The Walking Dead, is that it's geared towards Commander, which is a casual play style,
exactly,
and it's like the entry drug now for Magic. But like, if I go somewhere to play Commander and I really don't know anybody or what's going on, and I sit down with, a $50 or $60 deck. First of all, that's a big commitment to start on something.
It is.
Then I'm playing against somebody that bought however many of these $130 now second market boxes to get these insane cards that I won't have any response. Like, that's they're taking the fun out of the game to make it more of a collectible thing, which
they are.
I mean, do all the collectibles you want. You've got Hasbro's resources behind you. You can do whatever you want with it, but just kind of don't mess with the integrity of the gameplay. And it's their game, and they can drive the game. They can drive the gameplay however they want. But if you're gonna do something that fundamentally changes one specific format's gameplay, that way it's got to be available to everybody, and the only people that are going to be buying these boxes are the people who are doing it for the investment. It's the Rudies and not the Timmies. And Commander is a Timmy friendly format.
That's one thing, and this is me going on a tangent. That's one thing I've always hated, is that I enjoy Magic a lot, but I've been playing it for a long time.
Yeah.
So I have a collection of cards that I've acquired. But if a new player wants to get into, even in Standard, some of the cards are like pretty pricey, and I really, there's no true entry. And they try to do that with Draft, which is the perfect format. But when I look at Eternal formats, because when I started, I played Draft and a little bit of Standard, and then I immediately swapped to like older formats because I wanted to learn more about the game. I wanted to learn the history, if you will. And I think other players should too. And when those entry points are like thousands of dollars worth of decks, you can't.
Yeah.
Especially if it's an actual Timmy who's like 13, just learned to play Magic, and they're like, "Oh, I want to learn more," and they're like, "I can't make this deck because I'm a kid."
Yeah, and that's why I wish Keyforge was a little bit more popular, and that's why I wish I would really like to see Magic do a Keyforge type format where you go to the store, you buy a deck, it's the deck you play, and you play the Keyforge format. I think that would be a phenomenal way for people to get involved.
That would be nice.
And I've tried to get into Paper Magic a couple of times, and each time I buy a deck off the wall, I sit down for a standard F&M, and I go, loss, buy, loss, see you next week.
Yeah.
Because I'm playing against people who have been playing for years.
They try and make those challenge decks like competitive, but simply adding a single mythic is not going to do justice.
Right.
Because every other deck is running a full set of those mythics, and even more of them.
Yeah.
So it's kind of difficult when it's like, oh, I'm going to cast, I don't know, Brazen Borrower in my challenge deck. And it's like, oh, that's cool. And then the opponent just goes like, I'm going to cast my Brazen Borrower and my other Brazen Borrower and my other one. And it's like, oh, you have no more board, and they swing and win. It's like, they can't compete.
You know what I think?
And going back to the Secret Lair as an entry point, it's not. If they want people to get into Commander, make a more friendly, like, Brawl, I think was actually smart. I know a lot of people criticized it in the beginning, but it's a very easy entry point for Magic players into Commander.
Yeah.
Because they don't have to go and purchase all these old cards. They can just put together a deck with the cards that they had from Standard and say, here we go.
What I think we should do? I think we should start a company where we put together budget-friendly Standard decks and sell the decks to new players. You say, you know what, we've play tested these decks. They're competitive enough where you'll have fun at an F&M, but you're not going to take down an SCG tour event. But it's a budget deck. You can go have fun with this deck at your local game shop.
Now, you say that, but the difficulty is that So we have to assemble and buy the cards and everything like that.
You forget I am a guy that has very limited resources and all the time in the world on my hands.
Well, if I look at Dex metagame, Dimir Control, it's $167. How are we supposed to market a $167 deck that runs, I don't know, 4 Thieves Guild Enforcers, which are each about, what's that? 450 each, and that's low. And then it runs 3 Aghadenes of Awakening with a total of $54. So it's like it adds up really quick, and that's what I'm saying is that. And actually, the issue is technically the secondary market, because if Wizards ever acknowledges its secondary market, which they can't,
right?
A bunch of legal stuff will happen, because if you like, opening packs is technically like opening a loot box,
right?
Because you don't know what you're gonna get. You'll get cards, yeah, but you don't know if you'll get the card you want. And because of that, a lot of the times these card prices go out of control, and that's going to happen with these vendor card, or not these vendor cards, these Walking Dead cards. Is the secondary market is going to say, oh, these things are limited availability, which is one key issue, and also everyone wants them, so they can just jack up the price to whatever. Yeah. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if, like, Negan, like, one of the cards ends up being like $50 or more, simply because limited availability and the secondary market is jacking up the price, because they know that getting these cards into their hands isn't going to be easy.
Right.
So they have to go through the secondary market. They have to, actually, because you can't buy the cards anymore. You can't get that secret lair.
Right.
So, and I always kind of I hate it. But if the secondary market didn't exist, alternatively, a lot of players wouldn't be able to make money or anything like that. And I see it, myself included. Like, I sell cards all the time. The secondary market is necessary for that, because otherwise, how am I gonna market any of the cards to other people?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't say it was a good idea. I just said it was an idea.
It is an idea. That's what we're going with.